Everybody, welcome to our webinar series focused on AI, artificial intelligence. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Alex Liu. He's currently an adjunct professor at Claremont Graduate University, actually working at the Drucker School of Management, teaching AI in management. He's also the director of the RMDS Lab, Research Methods, Data Science, and AI, an advisor in Harvard Data Science Review, an AI educator at Caltech. So he has all the credentials for us to have a great, wonderful, and productive conversation as we are trying to understand the future of higher education, CGU in the context of AI. Alex also brings a very rich industry background. He's a former chief data scientist in different organizations like IBM, iSky, and Retention Science. He also is a distinguished data scientist from IBM from 2013 to 2019. And he has been a data and AI transformation consultant for several companies that you can see in the slide. His research is focused on ethical AI with artificial spiritual intelligence and on applied AI successful transformation. So we are super excited to welcome Alex Liu to this space for us to discuss. And Alex, tell us a little bit more about you that wasn't in the slide. Anything else that you want to highlight? And just take us further with we have some slides for presentation before we start the discussion.
Thank you for the introduction. Yes, I'm very pleased to join this conversation and have this opportunity. As I mentioned, I just finished actually my teaching at the CGU and the Drucker School about AI in management. With that course, I had 28 students, graduate student, PhD student. So I was excited to see the interest coming here. And besides what I mentioned in this slide, I'm actually also involved in quite a few startups in the AI and the field. So I has and have still the opportunity to observe the newest development in this field. And I'm very pleased to share my observation, my opinion, and hopefully can contribute to your conversation. The first development, I think some of you may also notice, is that recently Nature magazine published article about an AI scientist, and basically it's an AI agent, AI autonomous and tool system that produced a research paper, then passed a peer review and they get into the publication and the presentation and the conference presentation. So that is very significant development for the research. And after that, I also saw that Nature published another follow-up to see that AI and agent can also complete the peer review. So that means now AI system is coming to try to automate the whole research circle, the research process, and definitely will have a huge impact on knowledge creation and for our professors, researchers, and students. I think this is something very significant and got my attention. I think before that, there were also quite many articles about AI who can really quickly create research like a package in R or in Python that usually take us weeks. Then it can get done in few hours or a few minutes. So it is a very significant. Another development I also noticed, and perhaps you read this one. I think it's published in Business Insight and also a few other magazine about University of Pennsylvania professor. He used the AI to replicate, to create a master level course, and with only 12 hours. And so, like he and discussed this with other in the interview, it's basically saying and telling us is that in terms of like knowledge and acquisition or knowledge and packaging and the teaching, now AI can almost reach the professor's level, a faculty level. So this and the article claims this will also have some challenge to the entire university model, and because like the students, and I also see some other report mention like students can work together with AI, then learn fast. So there are even some like and experimental school get established already, and for the K-12 and also and for some professional training. So we see that like AI is kind of really and developing very fast to coming to us and affect everywhere. And another like a trend I noticed like now like compare this year versus last year. Of course, there's a lot of talk about the AI agent and agentic AI, and I think now very clear shift is from what people get used to as a copilot chat box, now shift to be on the agent side, and there's a lot of product and the name as a co-worker. So it means like at least like from the technology perspective, they can push the technology to be uh, a co-worker, to be a college in the working and the space. It's not only to be assistant, so that way like it will be can able to independent perform lot of tasks, then can collaborate with human workers, then to get the work done. And around this, we also see like a lot of like what we people call the AI fluence and the framework kind of coming out. Then the most influential one is from the Anthropic, like they have like a framework called the delegation, description, and the dissemination and the diligence. It's I think the implication from this one is that they can get us, get people, get human to be more focused on the division of duty between human and AI, and also and more focused on the conversation, effective conversation between human and AI. Then like push people and us to be more on the evaluation side, on the governance side. So we will like suggesting for us to let the AI to be more and autonomous and be independent, performing a lot of work. And this is like a clear and a trend moving forward. In terms of the adoption, actually the adoption is not a word used very often now. It's because like AI is already everywhere. But still, we see like a lot of reporting about failures in terms of integrating technology like AI, integrating and adopting AI. And so I can work with some of my partners. We develop and a maturity letter, a framework, and can help people to see how like organizations or human independently can move up in terms of using AI. So from the system level to operational level, strategic level, systematic level, and institutional level. And now, and like this one, like the Anthropic framework, and now like everybody and they got pushed to be at the systematic level and the institutional level. Means like we will not only want to have effective communication and good collaboration with AI, but also ethical and governance and all this concern are now on the table for us. Yeah, I think I just want to speak till here. I know there's a lot for us to discuss, and so I look forward to have a good conversation with everyone here. Thank you.
Gloria, you're muted if you're speaking.
Wow, I was saying such smart things, and now they're gone. I was saying that it is very helpful to understand AI from adoption to maturity, knowing that in any organization, there's going to be always some member that is using AI at the assistive level, no
Yeah.
matter what. So I really like the idea of thinking about all those layers of maturity or implementation at higher levels. Um, so thank you for that. I think it's a helpful framework for us to thinking about it, both in terms of leadership enactment and practice, research, and in general in higher education. My first question to you is what is that you are most excited, positively excited about the ways that AI is transforming organizations and how we work.
As for me, I'm kind of excited now. Really, AI can be kind of independent worker. And for example, currently, I'm helping some people in the legal AI field, and I feel AI now is not only helping us, like you mentioned, to be assistant. It can also automatically and do a lot of work. Then usually take us to years or months to complete. So in that way, we can be freed and focus on something more important. For example, like in the legal field, and to really discover or and make causal influence is very complicated and very time consuming. So then, if AI can take that work, then we can really make some good progress. And in terms organizational enterprise and AI transformation, I think now I see a lot of work and I use a lot of people are using AI native organization. So there's a organization start from almost scratch, utilizing AI and have a very and a close relationship with all the AI agent, then become some challenge to the traditional organization, and to observe how this tool can compete or can help each other, complement each other is something very exciting to observe.
Thank you. I am writing in the chat that if you have questions or if you want to make a comment, please just raise your hand with a hand raised feature, or leave your question in the chat if you rather have me ask questions. Um, Tell me a little bit more about agents. It feels like this is the word that everybody that is in the know in AI now is talking about. Like it feels like the LLM is gone and now we're talking about agents. Can you help us explain a little bit more of that?
Yeah. Actually, interesting is that my daughter in high school also asked me this question. You said
Yeah,
she
that's my
asked,
level.
no, I'm not saying that. I mean, it's like now it's like something everybody is talking about. And what I tell her is that I said, you use the ChatGPT, right? And for ChatGPT, basically what you get is an answer to a question. Then for agent, it's not like you gave them a task, then it will perform complete task, give you some results. So you are in the past, you're working with some expert or advisor, ask questions, and the agent is something we can perform as a kind of AI employee, and you can basically give a task, complete, then give you the results. So it's kind of changing. Yeah. changing the equation a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. One thing that you were saying that it hurt personally when you were doing the presentation was that now someone can create in 12 hours a master level course.
Yeah.
You understand why it hurt? First of all, because all the hours that I have invested on creating and designing courses, but also because I feel like this is just an output, like creating a course that it can be deployed in Canvas, for example. But I like the idea of thinking about this is an augmentation that AI can do for
Yeah.
my work, but what are the things that humans can bring to the table that still can be based on that 12 level course? Like I have been using AI to create courses, and yes, it reduces the amount of time, but I still have to put a lot of intellectual understanding, and also it requires a lot of input. Like it's a professor who
Mhm.
created the master level class, not a
Yeah.
student creating the master level class, right? Like there's like a background knowledge. Can you speak to that?
Yes, and that's a very good point. And so, we have agent who can do a lot, but it still needs some kind supervision, right? Then you can need to give this person some knowledge, not just the knowledge then the agent can get from LLM, and some specific knowledge, and also instruction, right? Then you say, okay, what I'm asking is a course, and so you can, and so that the human knowledge, specific knowledge supervision is still kind of needed. But however, I think as the AI agent develop, then and from the technology perspective, and now you can actually build an agent, and you can give them unique knowledge, and so first time you gave to them and it's from the supervisor, but second then the agent can learn this and store this already. Then second time we do not have to do that, we can move up. On the other hand is that the agent now it also have a special and special catalog and something to fit in. It's called skills. So we can create an agent who have a skill to teach, right? We can create an agent who have a skill to do research or have skill to write a paper. So the skill is also something. What I mean is the agent actually can also learn, right? They can be more skillful and they can also acquire a certain knowledge. So in that way, through the interaction between human and the agent, then the agent will become more sophisticated, more capable. So one thing for us is that we at the beginning we need to supervise and structure it, and also later it's out we can just need to continue this like sometimes growing together with the AI tools agent. So that's why the framework and the Anthropic and other emphasize is that human then still are capable and more capable perhaps to evaluate and also to govern, right? Because you want to make sure everything is ethical and also for some positive impact. And so there's still something, but I think others are evolving and I'm also learning.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah, it's a
they're doing
development system.
more things and we're learning more things. Stephen,
Yes, kind of on that same topic. Whose responsibility do you find is to keep the human in the loop? Is that the team or the company implementing the technology, or is there any burden of responsibility on the developer, say Anthropic, to design into their product human in the loop processes and recommend that since they know it so well? And then on that end, do you have any good examples of solutions that have really done the human in the loop solution the best?
Yes, this actually, yes, very important issue here, and keep human in the loop, right? Then, when we are using the AI tool, it's and on our hand to keep us in the loop, and but also understand those and technology company, for example, and Anthropic also have cloud co-worker, right? Then they are keep learning. And I don't know how they can, and they're trying to still keep human in the loop. And I think this is complicate the question. I'm not quite sure how to answer this because I see like a big technology company, some of them are driven by profit, right? They're driven by their and purpose. So sometimes they do not want to us to be in the loop.
Yeah,
And so in that way, like we probably will need the government like and other to intervene, like require the model they are using are explainable and follow the ethnic rules, and so there's still some work for us to push for that.
yeah, it seems like their profit margins are about getting the human out of the loop, while
Yeah,
all our ethical discussions are about keeping the human in the loop. And it
yeah.
seems like they're, which is going to win? Obviously, the people designing it. So how do we kind of put that down maybe through legislation or other, regulations to kind of force the hand, at least to keep things competitive, maybe.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why we will really need to get involved. Yeah, otherwise we'll be out of the loop.
Okay, related to involving the human, and I'm going to like kind of link two questions. Professor Kliger was asking to kindly align the content of your course at Drucker. What is that what were your learning outcomes? And actually, if you could share the syllabus in the chat or with us, that would be great. But I think that is related also to um, what are the competencies? So given given where we are, right? Like what are the competencies? What are the things that we need to cultivate in graduate education or even in undergraduate education to then come to graduate education, given the state of the art? What is that we should focus on? So the question is two-part. What do you do in your course? And second, like in general for graduate education, what would be the competencies that we should be focusing on?
Yeah. And the course actually, until in this stage, I feel like teaching AI course is also very challenging, difficult part because the AI is evolving, right? Then for a few weeks when you start at the end, AI is completely different. However, for my course, and we actually follow the requirement from the Drucker School as kind of help the students to develop kind of a framework to understand AI. Like the one I shared, maturity ladder is one approach, and other will be like about like augmentation versus like automation, and those kind of analytical lens for the student to get. Then besides that, we can ask a student to really focus on some area they are interested in, so develop some kind of research proposal framework. So it's like that course because it's for 28 PhD students. So the focus is more for them to develop some analytical and framework and analytical lens to study AI. And also on the other hand is to utilize AI to kind of improve, to help contribute their research. So that's my and the course study. Then your second question is for the
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, the second question is like, in general, what are the competencies that we should focus on in graduate school? And not only for business students or only
yeah.
for CSAT students, but across all our graduate programs, what are the competencies that we should be cultivating?
Yes, and which like actually with regarding to this and the issue, and there's a term now called the AI fluence and coming out, which is why I can share the framework and Anthropic and other like they are teaching AI and fluence, and what per their framework is 4Ds, like a delegation. It's like teaching people how to understand the division of duty. So basically, it's for us to really understand what AI can do and the human can do. And the second is about the effective communication between human and AI, because like we sometimes also feel frustrated, right? When you work with AI, you feel the tool is not understanding well enough of what we are asking. So that's also important. Then when the results come out and can be enormous, it's not that easy to evaluate. So there are also certain like skills to be able to effectively evaluate AI's output. Then the last one is about the AI and the governance. Is what So like you want to ensure the AI and the tools and the system and we are going to use or develop together will be ethical. And so those are I can agree with their framework. Those are the important competency for graduate student for us to acquire.
Thank you. Okay, I have a couple more questions here. Joseph was asking a complicated question. Let's see. Can you
Okay.
explain how AI actually thinks? A lot of new articles share that people building AI, OpenAI, Grok, Anthropic, like how can we analyze where poor output, like for a masterclass that was just written incorrectly?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of the question. Still don't, yeah. How does, I guess the core question is how AI actually thinks.
Yeah, I think this actually, it is a very essential question. And like you mentioned, it's a complicated question, right? It's not easy to answer. But I want to offer like two perspectives. One is that what the AI thinks is different from human, and so we should not then assume the AI and artificial intelligence is the same as human. And I usually for my the class, I can give one like a similar comparison. I said for flying, right? And the birds, maybe we can call the natural and the fly and the airplane. But the airplane is everybody using to fly, but it's different from how bird flying. It's the same, and so there's a and a lot of analytical lens for us to understand AI. And I feel like one is very powerful is that we can just think AI as a prediction machine. It's actually the AI is not really thinking; it's predicting. And so like even the writing, right? For us, when we write, we will put it together a theme, a structure, then we will go to a different part to finish the writing. But the AI is not. AI complete first sentence and according to your instruction, and they actually predicting. They predict the first sentence from whatever background and the instruction you gave to them. Then they predict the second the sentence. Then they put the prediction out. Then one by one. So some way we can see that then AI is basically a prediction machine. And according to his and the AI's knowledge, according to instruction, they will predict something output, then deliver the prediction to you. And quite often that prediction is because they predict what you want. So yeah, they're performing prediction. Yeah, so it's different, different from humans' intelligence.
Okay, it's a crystal ball on superpowers.
Yes, some kind.
Okay, I believe that John Mugger has a question. John, can you unmute?
I actually had the same question that I believe it was Joseph had that he just answered. But he had a second question that I'm not sure was answered.
Go ahead.
Then I'm looking for that. So the second question was, how can we analyze where AI is giving us poor output or incorrect information? That was the second question.
Yeah, and we know AI and does hallucination, and so some of the answers are not correct, right? And so this is the part human and can contribute. And based on our knowledge, we will know it's not and correct. So will still be human supervision is kind of still necessary here. Like now it's like improving, and because like the technology companies, they also like keep training, right? And we know like the basic and how they predict is based on the machine learning. Machine learning, the basic principles that you give the machine, like a training data set, then tell, right? Then after that, you know, like it's still not 80% and still not 100% correct. So then you will and use some like a different data set to evaluate its performance to see, okay, then tell the machine you are only 80% correct. Then the machine will need to keep improving. So there's a two process here, right? One is that the technology company will keep evaluating, then improving, make it better and better. And also on the other side is the users for us. Then we can evaluate then and give the machine feedback so it also can learn and improve.
So one way is asking it questions you know the answers to already. And if it gives wrong answers, then you can actually fire back to it and ask for further explanation.
Yes.
And give it evidence to the contrary of its response.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and in those kind of conversation, usually the machine and set out to be able to learn very fast and correct itself. So, for example, like you are asking the machine to do some mathematical and the problem, right? Then you see most often are correct, but the one step is not. Then you can communicate, tell the machine to correct. Then finally you can get a good answer, a correct answer. So that's also one way for us to ensure we get the one we want.
Thank you, John, for the question. It actually is interesting, like the comments that we have in the chat related to that. So, for example, Ayana was saying, I believe that from the beginning to the end, we should employ the human in the loop protocol. Is especially beneficial in healthcare, where disparities drive financial burdens. So, help the disparities and people, it will drive down the financial burden. It would be a win-win. And based on that question about like how can we see if it is wrong or not, like that helps me understand the idea of the human element. Like we are the ones who should be always monitoring. Like we cannot be just hoping that it's not going to make errors. Actually, I'm hoping that it makes errors so I can correct it and say, hey, if I hadn't been here, it would have been the machine who did all this. In my experience creating a course, I really like it was more like a thought partner. Like, hey, can you create this? This is what I want to do. And it will actually like do all the hard work of creating the rubrics, but then I will check that the rubrics are okay, or creating instructions for the assignments. But then I will remove things that were repetitive or it was too long, or like I would be always been adjusting what I was getting. I will never take like a course just developed by AI without working through it. There's more comments here. Fred Dominguez was talking about AI course could be analysis of qualitative and quantitative data. Also, there are programs like Elicit and Perplexity where AI sits on lead search engines that can analyze articles. So thank you for that information. Charles has a question or thought for them. How does a human in the loop protocol compare to a representative from designated individuals or entities within the legislative system?
Can you mention the question again? I didn't hear.
Yeah. How does the human in the loop protocol would compare to a representative from designated individuals or entities within the legislative system? And they clarify that it would only not be for precision or possible correction, but for biases, stereotypes, and the agenda of certain goals that can also be critical concerns.
Yes, yeah. I think this is making this even more complicated, right? Yeah, yeah. I think this I kind of still in development, and it's still like depends on our contribution. I see also two people raising hand if they have questions.
Yeah, let's go into that. Marco?
Yes. Hi, Dr. Liu. Thank you for the presentation. And I have a question in terms of rising agentic AI usage across the board.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that are using agents now to automate tasks, like you mentioned. And basically, it's like an assistant that you could use for within your computer that you could automate.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what the role of SaaS companies are in the future, considering you can already create those same services on your own using agentic AI, and if there's even a need for any more SaaS products to be created by future companies. Thank you.
Yeah, I think there's recently and a lot of report about claiming like the death of the SaaS model, right? And so like agent is now like since like consider something is to take over, and could be good, right? And because it's making the customer service and the deliverables and even better, and but still is something developed in development, and also a lot of argument about this. So we will need to wait to observe.
I see. Thank you so much. Just a follow-up question in terms of the development of agentic AI. To what extent or when do you think we would see better security layers for agentic AI, considering that right now it's a concern for everyone integrating something like OpenClaw onto their computers, that's files are getting deleted, or certain commands that are being executed correctly that the AI hallucinates, as you mentioned. When can we see the security in terms of agentic AI on the consumer level?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question, but I do not feel like I have an answer, right? Even like a cloud get their source and leaked, and they
Right.
cannot even protect themselves. How
Yeah.
can they protect others? And yeah, it is a big concern. And but they are still developing forward. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Yeah, interestingly, like my husband is a software developer and he's thinking about buying a mini Mac where he can get the agents to work in there in a very safe and closed environment before deploying them back into an open environment. That's kind of like his idea of how to use OpenClaw.
Yes, yeah, there's a lot of innovation around this to protect themselves. Yeah.
Roland.
Okay, thank you. Just had to unmute myself. I have a more fundamental question. So by the way, it relates maybe to what you just said before, right? The stuff is seeping out of contained environments. And I think that AI is fundamentally changing the concept of what we think about what organizations are, right? So for instance, it's really busting silos because there are no, let's say, political or tribal or other issues that keep silos closed.
Yeah.
The same thing goes for business ecosystems, where the linkage to supply chains, to customer centricity, other stakeholders and the ecosystem gets now in a different, kind of way organized. So what's your view on the future of organization in this respect? Because also governance will be very, very different as we have it today.
Yeah, this is a really very big question, right? And but it is coming, and for my discussion and others, we see like a lot of reports about even like one person company is coming, right? Even they use and
One-person
OPC
unicorn.
as
Yeah,
it's not.
one-person unicorn. Yeah.
Yeah, unicorn, and the person just established a startup, then create 9 AI agent, and then it's working. And so this definitely, and like you mentioned, for supply chain, and I recently observed Alibaba, they pushed out AI sourcing and the tool. That means like if you are a company here, then you can tell the machine, they say, okay, I want something like a table and in certain dimension and what kind of material and the cost. Then quickly AI will suggest something for you in terms of the design and also the supplier and the deliverable, the time, even like a trade, the tax and everything quick. Then they also have AI agent for advertisement sales. So all this is definitely one is that will change the structure, right? And then maybe the organization will become flatter. And also second is that within the organization, if not replaced by AI, the duties of the people will also be different, right? Some people may have more power, some people may have less. So this kind of impact is definitely coming. And for the government, I do not know how quick they can respond. But if they adopt, they use AI agent, then the relationship between government and us will also perhaps change. And I recently see definitely and a lot of impact for the legal system, right? Because now is that the lawyers, they sometimes they joke with me. They say, "Oh, that's good. Yeah, the court system still need my signature. The rest can be handled by AI." And and the huge changes are definitely coming. And but how? And I think really also and depends on our impact, our push, right? And do we want to one issue is that whether or not to keep human in the loop? Yeah, for the legal system, even joking, but keep the lawyer to sign the signature, maybe still good thing, right? So final, yeah.
But may I, Gloria, just on top of this really quick. So there's another issue I'm also thinking about. So data obviously is the oil, right, for
Yes.
artificial intelligence. And we have now obviously the opportunity to put data into shared data spaces. And it's not only cloud, but also beyond cloud, there are some kind of other models where you have now with the digital twins and all that kind of stuff that's coming up in collaboration across data that are shared between all kinds of people in the ecosystem. And AI will create totally new business models here, I believe, right? So how do you see the role of AI in data productization, data strategies that create new business models as we speak about, the impact on management and leadership and organization?
Yeah, this is, I agree, this is also very important direction and development for us to watch. And I come from AI and IBM, IBM consider and the data as the oil and the basic, the foundation, right? And so it's very important. One is that and who controls data and how to use those data, and definitely will become very important and for the business process. We we see that one company called the Scale AI then become certainly from nowhere become a billion company and funded by two kids in 20s. And but their main contribution is to label data and management data and supply data to those AI companies. That's all. That's everything they're doing. And I think also another and development along this line is now and the data, what considered data is also become different. Like in the past, when we see data at early, it's all only about numbers, right? Now like a text, audio, video, and picture, video, all this become considered data, and AI is capable to process that. And also that's why like the physical in the physical AI, the world model is also play important role because now and all the data, for example, I worked with LA City and other city. They said they get the instant traffic data, and within like maybe 10 minutes, now less, like delay. So you also have this and instant supply of data, almost everything what we are doing, then satellite surrounding our Earth. So then the data and how data develop itself, how data get management, definitely is some essential to affect the AI development, and also will take us, yeah.
We're working with a startup in Europe that is creating a kind of a ground-hugging data space by deploying about 35,000, smart nodes that each of them can collect about 45 different data points, connecting it with the satellites.
Yeah.
And you can do all kinds of data products out of
Yes.
those 34,000 data points times 45 that are collected. And it's a total data play. It's nothing else than just data. But without IoT and AI, it wouldn't be impossible, right?
Yes, I agree. Yeah, and like I also recently and observed some like a warehouse operation, like they have the sensor and the join and the others to collect data. Then you can totally automate, and it's crazy, going crazy there.
Yeah, it's massive. Okay, I have a question and a follow-up question. The question is from Sweta Lokur, and then a follow-up question by Eva Muin. The question is, how are organizations integrating AI as a part of business strategy in terms of gaining maximum productivity of the AI tools? And to follow up that question, it would be, do we have examples of successful organizations that have been able to integrate AI into their business practices?
I think now like and almost everybody is kind of working in integrating AI into their business, and so just but not often get this and the information published. So it's kind of difficult to evaluate. But however, I see that like even like in restaurant, right, they also start to integrate AI like for demand forecasting, for inventory control, and also like recently like we see some report about uh, like a Chinese restaurant and a Haidilao hot pot. They also use AI for as a dancing and the tool, right? And they can even get sometimes out of control, so get a lot of report. I think now like everybody is like working on to uh, integrating an AI into the business. But and perhaps we will still need some time to really get more information, like to be able to summarize the patterns. And currently, it's a lot of reporting about the failures and the less about the success. But still, and because we know like in different industry, it's a different and the story, right? And like in medical, you mentioned medical, and based on my understanding is that for the diagnostics part, and definitely everybody, almost everybody is using AI. And I kind of recently, I think I saw a report about the cancer center. They said in the past they use human doctors to do diagnostics. The accuracy is like 94, 95, still very good. Now they use AI plus human. The accuracy is 99.9%. So they are, and in different part, yeah, success and the failure as well. Yeah, it's moving forward. Yes.
Yes, it is. I was looking for some materials where I found like examples from Unilever and other companies, but I'm trying to find it as Alex, as you answer the following question, that is an interesting one from Fred. What would you say to people who don't trust AI?
What do I think about the people who do not trust AI?
What would you say to people? What would
Oh,
you
okay.
say to them? Yeah. I don't think I don't we don't need to know what what do you think about it?
Yeah. I think what I would say is why do you try it, right? Then tell me like if you still trust or not. Because like at least for some specific and task, AI is helpful, right? Then if the person do not trust the using AI overall, and they can still use AI for some small task, and to kind because now it's like everybody's using it. For example, I talked to some friend, asked them if they use AI. They said not sure. Then I said, why don't you try to use AI to do email for you, like to write email? Then they try. Oh, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very simple things, right?
Yes, very simple things. Yes.
Okay. Joseph Mele says, and this is the last question. Jensen Wang, who's the CEO of NVIDIA,
Yeah.
recently said at a company conference that AI has researched inference and that inference is thinking. And the question is, wouldn't inference really just mean it is predicting or guessing based on the information that is limited to?
I'm not sure 100%
Yeah,
understand.
I don't know if Joseph wants to unmute and develop.
Yeah, sorry. So,
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
maybe about a month or two ago, hi, Professor. Good to see you again. Jensen Huang was on stage and he basically was giving to his company saying that AI has reached the ability to think, but he then flipped and used the word inference and saying that inference is thinking. And he said it like 5 times back and forth. And I really feel inference is more to what you said earlier in the way of predicting rather than actually thinking from a human capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering what
Yeah.
your thoughts on that is, because I thought that was a very interesting phraseology, and the fact that he said it 5 times, I felt like he was more pushing a concept than proving a concept.
Yeah, I think he's more like I recall this. I think I also heard, right? Like for example, in the legal field, I'm working with company who will do two part, right? Who do, and the beginning is the causal discovery. Second will be causal inference. Inference will be like to prove using certain product cause my illness, right? Then the causal inference then to kind of prove this relationship. And I think what he's pushing is that the chips and at the local can even do some thinking, then do the inference. So that I think he's pushing for people to utilize more chips, more computing in the different level. And but however, I think that is true, and inference and reasoning can be performed in some local level and small level and with some specialized chips. Yeah, it's a technology definitely this and advanced to that level.
Okay, thank you.
A brief comment, if I may, on that. Yeah, inductive, deductive inference,
Yeah.
logical necessity, that can be taught to machines or software
Yeah.
and to do. So I think that may be what he meant by inference and thinking,
Yes.
logical thinking.
Yes, I think he is like referring more to those type of logical thinking, logical reasoning that can be done faster than before with some special chip.
Mhm. Okay, well, with that thought about thinking or not thinking, influencing or not influencing, I think that we can we can wrap up. Dr. Liu, thank you so much. I know that there's still questions up here. Um, One was what companies are making efforts to make AI more sustainable and environmentally friendly. I don't know if we have examples right now. Um,
Yeah, I think that's still something we need to work with, yeah, because there are certain company claim, right? Then, but I'm not sure. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This was very helpful. You help clarify a lot of issues, and also you help us think about things in other complex ways, so we can continue grappling with this state of the art. Let's see how we can get on top of the wave and continue with that. I drop in the chat a couple of ideas on how AI and is used in organizational development consulting. That's my area. So just for people that wanted to see like successful applications. But I invite you to go online, to learn, and to use AI as a thought partner while we're trying to figure out how can we support all our grad students to be successful as we continue with this in their research and their education. Thank you so much.
May I just, before everybody's leaving, just let you know that at the Center for the Future of Organization, which I chair at the Drucker School, we're currently starting a research project, which is a kind of an action research project with about 7 or 8 global corporations like NTT Data, SAP, Lenovo, and others to understand the deployment challenges of agentic AI, across all kinds of dimensions, not only technology, but also human, social, political, governance, and stuff like that. So I'm happy to share once this, is out with whoever is interested in these kind of topics. We expect probably have Bosch is the first one with their autonomous driving unit, but we hope that by fall we have a few mini case studies, right, related to what you just mentioned before. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much, Roland. And I will be in contact with you to learn more about that, and maybe we can do a
Excellent.
collaboration. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. And thanks for everything, Alex. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.